He begins tonight with a Wayne County judge caught on the wrong side of the law.
Wayne County Circuit Court Judge Cylenthia LaToye Miller could be spending time in someone else's courtroom very soon because of what she brought into Detroit Metro Airport.
Will this become an example of rules for thee? Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification, multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. Any channel like content and what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything is appreciated. Connecticut residents, make sure your training for your permit is on par with the new state requirements. If you already have your permit, watch the expiration date. Don't let it expire. There's a link to the online renewal portal for the state of Connecticut for permits in the description box. Keep an eye on that. Let's talk about this. Now, this is an interesting story. It's a little bit older, but I found it interesting. I just came across it. But this kind of made me think, is this going to become a rules for thee, not for me situation? But a county judge in Detroit was found at the airport with a loaded handgun in her luggage. Now, county judge, Cylenthia LaToye Miller, who's been a judge in Detroit for some time, but she was going to the airport and she was busted carrying a loaded firearm. Let me give you some more details here.
I am Cylenthia LaToye Miller, your accessible judge at 36th District Court.
On the bench and in campaign ads, Judge Cylenthia Miller is a familiar face. Since 2006, she's been a judge in Detroit, first at 36th District Court, and since 2019 at Wayne County's 3rd Circuit.
I've never been disciplined publicly or privately, so I am doing what you have asked me to do, Detroit.
But the judge ran into some trouble this past weekend as she was traveling out of state. While going through airport security here at Detroit Metro, TSA found this .380 caliber Smith & Wesson firearm. It was loaded and in the judge's purse. Todd Perkins is the judge's lawyer and a longtime friend.
Why was she carrying a gun?
Well, she's a licensed CPL holder, and she can lawfully possess in a concealed fashion a firearm in the state of Michigan.
But of course, you can't carry a loaded firearm in your carry-on. Sources tell us that Miller told airport police the gun had belonged to her brother, who lives in Ohio, where guns don't need to be registered. But they do here in Michigan, and Perkins admits he doesn't know if the gun the judge was carrying was registered at the time it was discovered.
One impression she was under at the time that this took place, only that day will tell.
Yeah, but it's not like she's an average citizen. She's a judge.
Well, she's not looking for any credit for being a judge. She definitely does not doing that. She holds herself accountable and will hold herself accountable as well as anyone else.
And a judge you would expect would know the law in the state of Michigan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're not running from that.
Perkins says the judge is facing the charge of carrying a dangerous weapon in an airport, a misdemeanor offense that carries up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine. He says Judge Miller has been going through a difficult time recently, caring for a close loved one who's facing health challenges, and that her mind may have been elsewhere. That's no excuse, he says tonight, and insists the judge received no special favors from airport police.
I don't think that there's been any special preferential treatment for her for this particular matter.
We did leave voicemails and text messages for Judge Miller on her cell phone, but she did not respond.
Heard that and you saw that. Now, immediately, I'm wondering if she went out and started pulling strings, calling certain, she got connections. Been a judge since 2006. She got connections. I wonder if she started reaching out. Hey, look, XYZ. But we have seen stories like this before where somebody, I wouldn't even say purposely, but have been caught with a firearm or even ammunition at the airport and got strung up for it. I don't think she should be given a pass because she's a judge. But let me bring you into here. Wayne County judge found with loaded gun at the Detroit Metro Airport, now facing the charge. A Wayne County judge is facing legal trouble after carrying a loaded firearm through Detroit Metro Airport last week. The gun, according to the judge's attorney, may not have been registered. Ouch. Ouch. Judge Cylenthia LaToye Miller has been a judge in Detroit since 2006. She spent 13 years on the bench at the 36th District Court and the last 5 at 3rd Circuit Court, where she presides over the family court. On Saturday, while she was on her way catching a flight, Miller passed through security at Detroit Metro Airport. It was then that TSA agents found a loaded .380 caliber Smith & Wesson firearm inside the judge's purse. Now, come on. How many times have you heard me say that? When you're traveling, before you pack your clothes, empty out the bag that you're using 100%, 100%. Take everything out of it, then pack what you're going to take with you. Don't assume anything. But this was in her purse. This is a personal handbag. How could you not know that? But she's a licensed CPL holder. That is not an excuse, said Todd Perkins, Miller's lawyer and a longtime friend. She can lawfully possess in a concealed fashion a firearm in the state of Michigan, but not at the airport. But the law prohibits you from carrying a loaded firearm in your carry-on. You can't even carry a loaded firearm when you check in either. You're supposed to separate the two. You know the procedure for flying with a firearm. But sources tell 7 News Detroit that Miller told airport police that the gun had belonged to her brother, who lives in Ohio. Ohio does not require that firearm to be registered, but you can't transport it from Ohio to Michigan in such a manner. Okay? The safest way to do it, as everyone should know, is going state to state, is transfer from an FFL to an FFL and pick it up in the state that you're going to based on that state's laws. So just simply saying, well, my brother in Ohio had it. Well, how did you get it? Did he give it to you and you just drove it across state lines? Now, don't get me wrong. Some states allow this. You're allowed to bring firearms into the state as long as you don't leave the house with them. Connecticut is one of those. The OLR report, you can come into the state with firearms as long as they're legal in the state, which is slowly becoming a very small list. But you can bring them into the state and leave them in your home and then go through the process to be able to, basically transport them around based on that law. But this just sounds fishy to me. But Michigan does. Well, there we go. And Perkins admit he doesn't know if the gun the judge was carrying was registered at the time it was discovered. Well, apparently it wasn't. Perkins says Judge Miller's going through a difficult time in her personal life recently, victimhood, spending time caring for a close loved one who's facing health challenges. Perkins said that her mind may have been elsewhere on the day in question. They tell you that ignorance of the law is not an excuse. As a judge, you should know that. Everybody goes through difficult times. Just saying. But it's not like she's an average citizen, said Channel 7's Ross Jones. She's a judge. Quote, she's not looking for any credit for being a judge. She's definitely going to use it to her advantage, though. She's definitely not doing that, Perkins said. She holds herself accountable and will hold herself accountable, and would anyone else. And a judge you would expect, and you would know the law, the state of Michigan, Jones replied. Absolutely, Perkins said, and we're not running from that. I'm sure you're pulling some strings, but apparently Perkins says the judge is facing the charge of carrying a dangerous weapon in an airport, a misdemeanor offense that carries up to 1 year in jail and a $1,000 fine. I doubt she'll see either one of those, but let's go ahead and come out of that. So there it is. I expect some strings to be pulled on this judge's behalf. I'm just not buying this. I'm having a hard life. We all have a hard life. That does not excuse you from circumventing or bypassing or accidentally or purposely bypassing a law. Doesn't work. That's not how it goes. Okay? So we'll see how it plays out. But I suspect this is going to be a rules for thee, not for me situation where this judge will basically get a pass. And that's really the sad state of affairs in our country, where justice is metered out on a privilege basis. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.